It is definitely win-win, and it is definitely a two-way street. Unlike much Chinese investment into the U.S., which is often viewed with suspicion in the U.S., Israel welcomes Chinese investment and with open arms, and the Chinese see the benefit. They see Israeli innovation in a wide range of industries, mostly tech, but also agribusiness, industrial, aviation, and you have a lot of complementarities. So even though the ties between Israel and China are relatively new, the history and the legacy is quite deep, and it is quite strategic for both companies. And there were a number of milestones. For many people, it was Berkshire Hathaway's first overseas investment was in Israel, but part of the strategy behind it was to get access to China. It was a metalworking company in China,
right.
And in fact, Warren Buffett's first business trip to China was with the head of this company, and this company has continued to grow. So if you trace it back to 2006, 2007, you've seen booming activity and a great amount of Chinese investment. Just as an example, literally today it was announced that a very large Chinese conglomerate, HNA, which is the owner of Hainan Airlines, is starting partnerships in Israel and is going to start making incubating investments. And this is going to follow right after they inaugurate nonstop Beijing Tel Aviv flights, which are starting actually tomorrow.
Interesting.
So this is just one physical tie are growing and investment ties are growing.
Yes, and we know there have been many tie-ups between China and Israel just in the first 3 months of this year. I do want to ask you something from an investor point of view. If you're interested in investing in Israeli tech companies, there are ETFs out there. There's an Israeli tech ETF that you can tell us about. Tell us more about this particular one and what the benchmark is.
Sure, with pleasure. Trading on the NASDAQ, the ticker is ITEQ or ITEC. Many Israelis pronounce high-tech with a little bit of an accent, so they pronounce it kind of like ITEC. It tracks the TA Biggie Tech index of 71 Israeli tech companies listed worldwide. It means after China and the U.S., Israel has the most companies listed on NASDAQ, so it has a good dose of Israeli companies that are listed on the NYSE and NASDAQ, but also London, of course, Tel Aviv, and one company listed in Singapore. And the way this index works, it's quite broad. So sooner or later, I'm sure we're going to have Israeli tech companies list in Shanghai or Shenzhen or Hong Kong, and they will also become part of this index. And so it's very broad. It's mostly IT software, but it also includes defense tech, agri-tech, biotech.